Hello, my name's Ruth and I run the Kaleidoscope Relaxation group, which is based at Frinton Free Church. I've been asked if I could share some advice on ways to relax during a time when we're all feeling quite stressed. So what I've done is I've recorded 2 complete relaxation sessions which are available on the YouTube channel, and I hope they'll be useful to you. But I'd like to explain a little bit first about what the sessions include and how they might be helpful. Each of the 2 sessions is divided into 3 parts, although they run consecutively. We start off with controlling breathing. It's important to try and slow our breathing down to calm ourselves, because when we get anxious we tend to breathe fast and quick. We tend to breathe very quickly, and it causes a build-up of oxygen in our bodies, and that can sometimes make us feel quite panicky or lightheaded, and we're trying to reduce that feeling. We're trying to help ourselves to cope better. The second part is about muscle awareness. It's about recognizing where in our bodies we're feeling tense. Sometimes we don't mentally realize that we're anxious, but we're sitting there with our hands clenched or our jaw clamped together, and we're getting quite uncomfortable. So there's ways that we can recognize when we're feeling tense, and we can help to relax ourselves. And the third part of the session is a visualization section, where we're using our minds to imagine being somewhere peaceful and calm, where there is no stress. The idea of the 3 sections running together is that it gives us a little break. It gives our body a break, gives our mind a break, and it gives us an opportunity to catch up with ourselves. So, controlled breathing, what does that involve? Rather than breathing fast and shallow with the top of our lungs, what we're trying to do is use the full depth of the lung, pull the air right down into the bottom and slow down the breathing. We're trying to level up the oxygen and carbon dioxide levels so that we can feel more comfortable. So the way to practice doing this is to put one hand on your chest, one hand on the top of your stomach, and as you breathe in, you want to be feeling the stomach muscles moving. The hand on your chest should stay pretty still. It takes a bit of practice. It took me quite a while to get the hang of this, but it is worth practicing. So as you breathe in, feel the hand on your stomach moving, and you should feel it sink back down as you breathe out. So practice breathing in and out using those stomach muscles. We're trying to use the diaphragm to pull the air right down into the bottom of the lungs. I always recommend counting while you're breathing, particularly if you're feeling quite anxious at the time. 1, it distracts your thoughts from whatever you're worried about, but 2, it helps to balance the timing. I always count for longer on the outward breath than on the inward breath. So I would breathe in for 3, hold it for a second, and then out for 5. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice and slow. You can count to 4 and 6 if that suits your timing better, so long as the outward breath is longer than the inward breath. So you can practice that just sitting anywhere. You can do it sitting in the garden, you can do it standing in the queue at the supermarket, anywhere where you're starting to feel a little bit uptight, you're getting a bit panicky, you're breathing fast. Just slow it down, use some counting. Nice slow breaths. And the other thing that I like to do when I'm getting a bit worried is kind of think about in the Bible, it says we shouldn't worry. It says God's got this, He's in control. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves about that. And one of the simple ways with a breathing technique is to think about, as you're breathing in, I like to imagine that I'm being filled up with the peace of God. I'm breathing in that peace, and as I breathe out, I just put down one of those things that I'm worried about. So breathe in some peace, put down a worry. You can breathe out that worry as many times as you need to, but leave it with God. He's got it. He's in control. We just need to remind ourselves. So breathe in the peace and put down the worry and leave it with Him. The second part of the relaxation session is about relaxing the muscles. And there's two different sessions. The first one involves tensing and relaxing the muscles. We're looking at each muscle group through the body, starting with the feet and working up towards the head. We're clenching up the muscles, feeling what it's like when they're tight, and then loosening those muscles and noticing the difference. It's about recognizing when we're getting tight, when we're uncomfortable, and how we can do something about relieving that discomfort. So it's working all the way up the body, just trying to relax the muscles and leave them in a comfortable position while we rest. The other session is one where we're just thinking about each muscle group. So instead of moving the muscles, we're just thinking about, where are my toes? What position are they in? Are they comfortable? Do I need to move the angle of my ankle or my knee? Is my arm supported? Those kind of thoughts. We're thinking that all the way up the body. And that's a really useful technique to use when you're going to bed. Sometimes we're worrying when we go to bed and we're curled up tight, we're scrunched up and we're uncomfortable. And if you could just think about, what could I do to just get more comfortable in this position I'm going to be in for the next few hours? Maybe you'd feel less tense, less tight in the morning, that the muscles would feel more comfortable. If you can leave the worries with God overnight, even better. So the last bit of the relaxation session is a visualization section. What we're doing is imagining. As we're sitting comfortably in our chair, our muscles don't want to move, we're nice and comfortable. What we're going to do is imagine that we're getting up from the chair and we're going for a walk. The first session goes for a walk in the garden, the other one is going to a beach. I've chosen places that I find peaceful and not stressful, somewhere where you can think about lots of different things at the same time. So the idea is that we're imagining in as much detail as possible. We're trying to distract our thoughts from all those worries that keep going round and round and round. We're trying to think about something positive, something that we enjoy. You can picture your own place if you'd rather. I've described, in the garden, I've described flowers, the colours of the petals, the smells, the movement of the insects, the sound of the birds. All those things, try and get in as much detail as you can in your imagination so that your brain is occupied with something that you choose to occupy it with. So that's part of what a relaxation session is like. They each last about 20 minutes. I'll guide you through each bit. You can hear me talking. You'll see me at the beginning, and then as I imagine that you're going to close your eyes and get comfortable, the picture of me disappears and you'll get a picture of a flower or a beach. And I hope that you find the sessions useful. Bye.